Welcome back, everyone. In this explainer, we are completely demystifying machine learning, specifically focusing on real-world IT infrastructure workflows. We're diving into part 9 of the 10-part intermediate tutorial, Machine Learning for IT Professionals. This is brought to you by Virtualization Options, LLC, which is a fantastic Colorado-based technology research, education, and advisory organization. Today, we're cutting through the hype and moving way beyond the buzzwords to show you how you actually apply these concepts to the systems you're managing every single day. Okay, let's dive into this. The shift toward AI and machine learning in IT operations, it isn't just some distant future possibility anymore. It is absolutely already here. But hey, before you start worrying that you need an advanced mathematics degree to keep up, just stop right there. Your existing skills, managing infrastructure, dealing with systems, building data pipelines, that is literally the perfect foundation for learning ML. You are already halfway there. So here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with why ML matters right now, then we'll break down the 3 ML paradigms, look at the golden rule of data, cover feature engineering basics, explore core IIT algorithms, and finally, talk about building out your actual toolkit. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Why ML Matters Now. Look, machine learning is no longer just a fancy roadmap buzzword to throw around in meetings. It is live in production environments today, actively powering things like anomaly detection, predictive maintenance, and intelligent automation across modern IT stacks. If you aren't leveraging it yet, you're honestly working harder than you need to. And here's a little secret that a lot of data scientists probably won't tell you. As an IT professional, you have a massive, unique advantage. You already understand the absolute lifeblood of machine learning, which is data flowing through systems. You know how data pipelines work. You understand infrastructure constraints. Machine learning is really just the next logical layer on top of that plumbing expertise you've spent years developing. Moving right along to Section 2, the 3 ML paradigms. Basically, every machine learning system falls into one of 3 fundamental paradigms. And categorizing them isn't about personal preference, it is strictly dictated by the data you have available and the specific administrative problem you're trying to solve. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how they map out. First, you have supervised learning, which is perfect for known outcomes, like classifying your network traffic as malicious or benign. Then, unsupervised learning takes massive amounts of raw, unlabeled data, think your server logs, and independently clusters them to find hidden anomalies. Finally, reinforcement learning is an agent learning through trial and error via rewards. And actually, that is exactly how dynamic auto-scaling of infrastructure based on performance metrics works in the modern cloud. Now, to really drive this home, you have to draw a hard line in your mind between those first 2. Supervised learning strictly requires labeled data. You literally have to hand-feed it historical examples of what a failed login looks like versus a successful one. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, is turned loose on completely raw, unlabeled data. It doesn't actually know what a failure is, right? It just knows that one specific cluster of raw system events is behaving completely differently from the rest of your baseline traffic. All right, Section 3, the golden rule of data. I want you to burn this number into your memory right now. 70 to 80%. Cleaning, structuring, and formatting your data accounts for the vast majority of the total work in literally any machine learning project. The algorithm itself, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The massive, invisible foundation holding the whole thing up is all data prep. To build these models, we have to face a harsh truth about the messy, unstructured reality of raw IT logs, system metrics, and daily event streams. It all comes down to the oldest rule in computing: garbage in, garbage out. Raw IT data is inherently noisy, it's frequently inconsistent, and it's almost always incomplete. If you fail to clean it, your model isn't just going to crash. No, it's actually worse. It will fail silently in production, confidently giving you terrible predictions that could take down your entire infrastructure. So, how do we actually clean it? Well, first, you handle missing values. You have to decide whether you're going to drop a log entry with missing data entirely or just flag it. Second, you normalize your numeric ranges. Think about it. If your CPU usage is a percentage from 0 to 100, but your network latency is measured in tens of thousands of milliseconds, you have to standardize those metrics so the latency doesn't mathematically dominate the model. And third, you encode categorical fields. A machine learning model doesn't know what Linux or Windows or severity level critical actually means. You have to convert those text strings into model-readable numeric formats. Which brings us nicely to Section 4, Feature Engineering Basics. Building on that clean data, Feature engineering is this absolutely crucial, creative process of constructing actual meaning. Because raw signals rarely hand you the answer directly, you have to craft the signals that matter. For example, a raw access log is just a timestamp and a request. Kind of boring on its own. But by transforming that signal, you can derive requests per second to measure traffic spikes. You can compute rolling averages for memory usage to smooth out random noise. You can extract the time of day to teach the model what normal looks like at 3 a.m. versus 3 p.m., or even just create a simple error rate ratio. This right here is exactly how you translate real-world IT realities into features a model can actually learn from. Okay, Section 5, Core IT Algorithms. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it directly maps complex mathematical algorithms to your daily administrative headaches. Listen, you do not need to master deep mathematical theory. You just need to know which algorithm solves which specific IT problem. Do you need to forecast continuous values, like exactly when your disk usage will max out or predict bandwidth consumption? You're going to use regression. Do you need root cause analysis during incident triage, or maybe you want to auto-classify support ticket categories? Decision trees are highly interpretable and completely perfect for that. Or are you dealing with massive, high-dimensional patterns, like log anomaly detection at scale across thousands of servers? Well, that is where you deploy neural networks. So the crucial point is this: complexity is absolutely not a virtue in production environments. A well-tuned, easily understandable decision tree will very often vastly outperform a massive, poorly configured neural network. Seriously, always reach for the simplest, most robust tool that effectively solves your infrastructure problem. And finally, Section 6, Building Your Toolkit. When it's finally time to install the software stack and bring all this to life, you'll find the industry standard is wonderfully accessible. Python is going to be your foundational programming language here. For straightforward algorithms like regression and those decision trees we just talked about, you're going to use a powerful, user-friendly library called scikit-learn. And when you do eventually scale up to deep learning and neural networks, TensorFlow is the industry heavyweight you'll rely on. Together, these tools form the practical foundation of your brand new machine learning capabilities. Think about it. You already have the operational knowledge. You now understand the fundamental paradigms, and you know exactly what tools to use. The gap between just managing infrastructure and building truly intelligent infrastructure has literally never been smaller. So, looking at your own massive logs, your noisy alerts, and your daily workflows, what will you build first? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer of Chapter 9 from the Virtualization Options LLC tutorial series. I'll catch you in the final chapter.